In our Treasure Chest Committee meeting of December 16th, 2021, with our first agenda item, which is make sure we have a quorum of committee members present. And I see that we do. We have a quorum. Excellent. Okay. Moving on to our second agenda item, under old business, to accept the meeting minutes for November 18th, 2021. I've prepared a draft of those, and you have those now for your review. Larry, I didn't know if the selectmen had accepted Liz's resignation, if it was their first or second meeting in November.
And I recall that we have accepted it, so I'm assuming, I think it must have been the second.
Okay.
Bless you.
Jean, I have you up here as volunteer present. Is that a correct spelling of your first name?
Yes.
Okay, want to give me the last name?
Sure.
Volker. Ready? B as in boy, U L G.
Like Wadey? That's what she says.
Okay,
So we need to be careful.
You should say, you should know my name.
I know it at first, but, most of the time we never use last names. We're all on a first name basis.
Really? That's
Yep.
true.
I know.
This is perfect. All this stuff is perfect. It's just what I agree. So we're all set. We go now, we're okay.
Any other changes or comments to these meeting minutes?
No, good.
Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes of November 18th, 2021 as amended?
So moved?
Second it?
Okay, all's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Okay, moving on to our second old business item, which is again continuation of the preparation of the Treasure Chest operational plan. Now, I had previously sent some scanned documents that were the documents that were contained in, well, you had picked them up for us, Heather, here at Town Hall. So, in going through these, I saw the operational plan as being the Treasure Chest operational guidelines that had been approved by the selectmen in February of 2018. So I think that's probably a good place for us to start. I was wondering if we should take the document from the selectmen in regards to it being Harwich only, that was adopted July 1st of 2018, and somehow add that to the guideline, just indicating that it's Harwich only. Any thoughts to that?
So our,
There's a separate document saying Harwich only?
yeah,
Yeah, that was the very first document. And then there's this Treasure Chest operational guidelines from
Right.
2000. But that doesn't speak to the Harwich only. So I thought we, needed to include that element.
Definitely.
Yep.
So if that's our lead document, we have to rewrite the first paragraph,
Correct.
and the second paragraph,
Correct.
the date it needs. But otherwise, I didn't see anything pressing. I felt comfortable with the other paragraphs.
Yep, we can just modify those first two.
That is a,
You mean these two right here? I just want to make sure. So we
Yes.
modify these
Yep.
two? Okay.
Yep.
Now,
do we have to vote on each move we make, or?
well, what I'd like to do is, so right now, this is just a discussion. I think we can put it together and then vote on it. So we'll be working with this operational guideline, but we should probably put this Harwich only piece in front of it. On the back side of this, there's rules for the use of the Harwich treasure chest that was, adopted December 3rd, 2007. That's not part of this, so I'm just gonna remove that, so this will be the first page. So,
Just the first page.
with the operational guidelines, is there anything that anybody else would add to these guidelines?
I did have some,
Should we go through each one? Because there's some changes that could possibly,
yeah,
No, we can, I know the only other thing that this document refers to, that is this operational guideline refers to the rules of etiquette. So the rules of etiquette needs to be added to the operational guideline to make it complete. So I would say we would add this here, and then there's actually a point here that states that the volunteers, basically need to sign off on this treasure chest volunteer rules of etiquette.
Yep.
So maybe I'd put a line down here underneath where, a volunteer would have to read it and sign it.
right.
Sounds good.
So why don't we slow down and do the, we do each
Yes,
document?
now we can go and drop into this, because I think that we have the three basic components that we need. So how about you walk us through the operational guidelines and your comments?
Okay, I was okay with the first one, if all of you want to reread that.
Folks okay with the first one?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just check them
you
off
want to
when we're
read
in
it out
agreement.
loud for the public if we're being, no, I
Um,
meant so they can hear it or no, or not really?
Okay, a first operational guideline would be volunteers should be respectful to patrons and volunteers at all times. Should a problem arise, volunteers should contact the shift supervisor or shift leader on duty, which is pretty much how we do it, so.
Yep.
Right.
Yep,
Okay, so we're in agreement with that,
Right.
yes.
okay?
Second one, I was in agreement with all of it. Do you want to read it, Larry?
I'll read it.
Read it?
Okay, item number 2 would be, each 3-hour shift shall have an inside and outside shift leader to provide leadership to all volunteers and handle any questions of issues that should arise. Shift leader will be noted on the posted schedule. Pretty much how we do it.
Yes.
Yep. Agreement.
The third one may not be, I'm not sure of the dates yet.
Okay. Third one is the treasure chest shall be open from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays throughout the year, except December 25th, Christmas, and New Year's, January 1st.
And we added Easter Sunday.
And what was the other one?
We had added Easter Sunday last time.
right, we did.
But we're not sure yet if we are going to be open year-round.
I know Link has indicated to you, Bim,
Said
that
it's
we
okay.
could have it open.
Year-round.
And I think
Like
we
it
should
was
just go
before.
back to the operation that we had started in the spring like we're planning
Yes.
and see what the fall and the winter brings. But, I think we open it up and continue the year-round operation the way we had.
Yay.
That's how we all feel.
Attention.
Folks in agreement with that?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Yep,
Okay. So we'll change 3 to be treasure chest shall be open from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays throughout the year, except December 21st or 25th, January 1st, and Easter. Okay, we're all in agreement.
Is this something that I could add in here, is if we want to talk about a different day for like a possible Mondays for drop-off with COVID and everything else? We've just been talking about a few of us, but maybe possibly Friday or Monday, a possibility for an extra day?
That would be another item, I think.
Oh, another item, okay.
Don't you think? I
Well,
think-
it only said because we're open Saturday and Sundays, that's why I was saying it there. See, it says open
But that
9 to
would
3.
be only open for drop-offs, right?
Yes,
The third
On the
day.
day you're talking.
the day drop
So
off.
that would be a different than.
So
Okay.
if you look
Saturdays or
at
Sundays.
the very first page, it's going to be our first page of the operational guideline,
Yep,
Harwich only. If you look at the back side of that, when it talked about the treasure chest operation in 2007, you know, we were open Monday or Friday through Monday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And, you know, there was a slightly different schedule than the schedule we have today. I guess we could always consider that, but maybe now we just stick with what we have. You know, I'm not sure. I know it was difficult for us in the past to get
Well,
enough
we're-
volunteers to
We were
open.
thinking, when we first opened, that we're gonna be inundated with things, because people, everywhere I
saving
go,
up.
when are you
Yeah.
opening?
2
My
years.
cellar is full, I got
Right.
things to bring, and drop off. So
We
we're
thought
thinking maybe
Mondays.
we need it more when we first open, and then if nothing comes of it, we just let it fall by the wayside.
Do you think that, that the
think we may
present
need it when we
volunteers
first
couldn't
open.
handle the influx that we'd get?
What was that?
Maybe you leave this alone and do that as a spatial case.
I agree, yeah.
Okay.
Let's
to
leave
do
this-
what? Just,
Leave this alone and do that as a spatial case. When you open up, say, okay.
we're gonna be open Mondays for now, okay.
Yeah,
All right, that sounds good.
And then people drop off when you get started.
Okay.
I do
Okay.
think it's a great idea when you first open to have a drop-off time.
Just,
Yeah,
Because you're right,
we're
everybody I
starting
know
with
says they've been
nothing, and I
saving
think
for-
Exactly.
everybody's gonna come at once.
If we had,
that
and
with
everybody
COVID.
knew it, they'd
They'll
be
fill it.
nonstop.
But with COVID too, it's like, you know, if
Exactly.
we're not like over jammed
So
in
let's-
people's faces,
So
it'd
we
be
have
nice
the
for people.
operational days, but there may be a special case like in the
Perfect.
beginning or something where,
Drop-off.
you know,
Right.
maybe they
Right.
drop off for you know, a couple of days prior to opening up, so we stock the shelves or, you know.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
No, because we had talked about that, you know, maybe a couple of weeks prior to a day or something, so once we get the layout, we stock the shelves, so when we're open, you know, people can shop. That's what they like to do,
Yeah,
yes. But again, a special case, and we can
Yeah,
bring
we
that
could
up
do
at the
that for
time.
Mondays.
it'll be
Yeah,
a separate
can
item.
bring that
yeah.
up.
Awesome.
Okay.
The 3
Yep.
stays.
So how about number 4?
Four.
I liked,
Okay.
Yes,
I'm
that's
okay
fine.
with.
Number 4 says, emergency closures due to inclement weather or other needs of the town shall be communicated to the DPW and the scale house by phone and to volunteers via email and/or phone.
Yep.
Does
Okay.
work well.
Number 5,
5's worth keeping.
okay. Number 5 states, only approved volunteers may staff the treasure chest. All volunteers must read and sign the rules form.
Yep.
Yep.
And so, this is the rules of etiquette form. We'll have a volunteer signature and we'll just have it on file. Perfect.
6, I'm not sure of.
So this is, okay. 6 says, all volunteers shall park on the right side access road opposite the fencing except for handicap parking. I think that's actually the parking that, you know,
Side of
comes
the
up from
road?
from the scale house up.
Yes.
and That's where we have been parking.
Right,
So actually, I'm in agreement with that because we cleared out that space to
For that.
provide the additional parking for the volunteers so they could park.
right. Works for me.
Works for me,
And like Rosie, she doesn't have to park there because
right?
the way
She's got,
walk
you
well.
know, right.
Yeah.
She has an accommodation. Right,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, 7 is good.
7 is no item shall be placed in the exit lane.
Yep.
Makes perfect sense.
8 is,
Yep,
8 states, both exit gates shall remain open during hours of operation. And they do,
they do.
they do.
here's number 9, I'm not sure.
Okay, it says, number 9, donations shall be accepted from 9 AM to 3 PM on Saturdays and Sundays. And perhaps this is a special case like
That's what
3,
we
that if we
about
want to
earlier.
open up or something, that we
Right.
can have a special case.
Do you want to add it into this item?
I would.
or-
Yeah, I'll add it into
Actually,
that
that would
one.
be the
And
place
just,
to
you know,
add it.
That would,
special case, you know, as,
we'll open Mondays if we can, if we need to.
Well, don't yet.
well, I'll just put special case.
You know me?
Right.
I'm sorry.
Stop apologizing.
10 we're
Just
okay with,
determined.
Yeah.
which is
How are you going to word 9, though? What are you going to say? Donations will be
Uh,
accepted from 9?
from 9 to Saturday,
on-
and
yeah.
then I just put, I have parentheses, you know, perhaps like, other days on a special case or something.
Special case basis or
Yeah.
something, okay. Right, 10 is good?
10 is, patrons shall have first option to take donated items, and that's correct.
Absolutely.
Can I ask a question on that?
Okay,
Because we're up above where you have, must read and sign the rules of etiquette form. And then you have a nice document, rules of the Harwich recycling area. That's part of the packet. And that's interesting to me because it,
Oh.
defines, you know, time of stay, 30 minutes, you know, and, I think patrons get first choice, that type of thing. Should that also be part of the signed documents so people are aware of that,
Yes.
Mhm.
to increase its importance?
Well, number 11, right after number 10, is volunteers should use discretion in taking a limited number of donated items and shall do so only at the end of their shift.
I'm just saying you might want to do that as also one of the signed documents to increase the importance of that.
Well, that's the whole thing.
You want me to add that to the rules of etiquette?
Or just at the same procedure, so they have to read and sign it. So, I'm just thinking perception of that, it's important to them.
So in other words, that it should be added to the rules of
Yeah,
etiquette.
I think so.
Number 9, no, number 10 and number 11. Yes, I agree. Anybody else's thoughts on that?
should we wait till we get over there and,
I just
So
didn't know-
add, so you want me to add 10 and 11 to treasure
Volunteer-
chest volunteer rules of, can make 10 and 11, 8 and 9 under the rules.
You think we need, she'll do so only at the end of their shift?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have to do it that way.
Okay,
Yeah,
works that way?
yeah.
What was that,
Do you want me to add them in for now
Yes,
and
10
just
and
write it?
10 and 11 should be added into the etiquette.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be 8
So I
and
want to
9.
make,
As 8 and 9.
yep. 10 and 11.
So 8,
I actually typed these rules of etiquette, so I might be able to find these somewhere.
Ooh,
It's
yay.
been a while, so hopefully.
so 8 will be
8 will be,
patrons?
8 will be 10, 9 will be 11.
Okay,
Correct.
Okay, number 12,
I'm good with?
No smoking.
no smoking allowed at the treasure chest.
Yeah.
That's correct. Number 13,
I'm okay with?
Yeah, that's good.
okay. Number 13 is no dogs allowed at the treasure chest, except service dogs. Will probably change. It says the treasure chest committee will meet at least 3 times per year. All meetings shall be posted and are open to all volunteers and the public. We probably meet at least 4 times. I mean, right now we're meeting monthly. All our meetings are posted. We take minutes. We post our minutes. We're up to date completely. So, yeah, I think at a minute, say we're meeting,
At
we meet
least.
4 times a year,
And make it more if we need to,
and yeah, more is needed.
yeah.
And then I was wondering if the shift leaders needed to meet at all too, if there's any incidents that we need to talk about or something, that something comes up, just a thought.
Yeah, I was hoping that could just be handled in the kitchen.
Okay,
you know.
We were
We
joking
all
about
meet
that.
before we,
Well, kitchen
you know,
talk, okay.
before we have our day, and, you know,
Okay.
there are some things, you know, we just need to handle ourselves.
Yeah, that's, okay, that's,
Isn't that where you always get, you know?
I know.
That's where everything happens, in the kitchen.
I know.
That's true.
It is,
Good or bad.
yeah. Number 15, you're good with 15 now?
Yep,
Okay.
15's good.
Number 15 says volunteers are encouraged to call another volunteer if they cannot do their shift to attempt to find a sub. Volunteers can also mark the calendar to signify a future date of,
That works.
you know, being absent.
That works.
And that does work.
It
So if
does.
you can't make it, try to fill your place. You know, if you can't, at least call in to let
Someone know.
someone know, so they can try to fill it in.
Right.
And that's what we do anyway.
We do.
We do.
The only part that I have a hard time is when people don't call and have no show. That's hard. So hopefully people will respect that, you know, we've had
Yeah.
quite a few of that happen over the years, and that's a little
Yeah,
hard.
it has happened, but I think towards the end,
People
you
are
know,
better, yeah.
like so many things, you know, you can remember in the past where there were issues. But I gotta tell you, before we were closed down by the Board of Health, I thought we were doing pretty good.
Excellent.
And people
No
were, you know,
complaints,
Right.
Nothing.
yeah, so,
It's just going
you know,
smoothly.
it wasn't broke,
Yes.
and
Until
people were
COVID.
following
Yeah.
through, so,
Perfect.
you know, hopefully we can continue the trend.
16 is good.
Okay. 16 is volunteers who do not comply with the rules of etiquette or these guidelines may have their privileges revoked. And I can tell you that we have seen volunteers have their privileges revoked. That does happen. We've seen volunteers no longer be able to be volunteers. There's a process for that as well. So, and we have followed that process.
We have.
Sometimes it takes a little time to follow the process, but ultimately, you know,
It
those
works.
people are no longer with us, and I think the treasure chest operation is
It's
better for it.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Number 17?
I'm okay with, but through all these items, or? is
I'll
there
do
any
it.
time-
Treasure chest shall accept most donated items in good condition. Items not accepted include items that are broken or stained. Yeah, we don't like to take chipped or broken stuff. TVs or TV cabinets, stereo speakers, you know, sometimes we accept them, but most of the time we don't because they're just too big and they're blown or whatever. But I can tell you vintage stereo is hot, so, you know, there could be people out there who are wanting speakers that work. Computers we don't take, printers, scanners, particle board furniture, disassembled furniture, encyclopedia sets. We actually do take Christmas trees in season.
We do.
Yeah.
So that,
Cross that off.
How about if we just put Christmas trees out of season? I'll put in parentheses, out of season.
Yes.
We don't
That
just
works.
store them, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a question.
You don't like that out of season, or?
No, I'm just, I wanna meet people who are still hanging on to encyclopedias.
Oh,
Oh,
well, yeah,
People try to drop off a lot of those.
yeah. You'd be surprised. Gas grills and propane tanks, rims and tires, cribs and mattresses, large appliances, stoves, refrigerators, washers and dryers, snow throwers, riding lawnmowers, toilets, sleep sofas, car batteries, air conditioners, children's car seats, playpens, large or heavy furniture, treadwheels, weapons, or any hazardous materials. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Right, no,
I
no
think we got-
playpens, huh?
You know what the problem with that is?
Know what?
A lot of times with the playpens,
Oh,
or
yeah.
the cribs, or the car seats, there's been a manufacturer's recall and we wouldn't know about it, so it's better off just to,
Not
Not
take-
take it.
yeah, not take it. I mean,
Risky.
I would hate for somebody to pick up something from the treasure chest and found out it had been recalled, it shouldn't be given out or whatever, and we do that.
Yes.
And items that we tend to see that with. Another thing that's not on here that we absolutely don't take is like treadmills.
Oh, treadmills
It's
is
on
on
here.
there.
Is on there?
Yeah.
Did I
Yeah.
read treadmills?
Yeah.
Good. Oh, there it is, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, yeah,
And
definitely no treadmills.
Some exercise equipment, we get a lot of stuff trying to.
Well, we
come in.
get that, I mean, and we get some bikes too, and it's, you know, and some of them are good and some of them are not, and, But I'll tell you what, we'll leave it the way it is here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And can anybody think of anything else that you've seen over the years that you should add? In memory of,
I would
What
like
we
to
don't
add-
take is the large pine furniture. You know, we don't take heavy furniture. Towards the end, we were like, okay, we're only gonna take really small furniture that's very easy for somebody to
That they
take
can
care of.
fit in the back of their
Right,
trunk or
because-
something, yeah.
They're dragging it off to their car, it doesn't fit, they're dragging it back, it gets all busted up, and then we've gotta take care of it.
Yep.
So, you know, I'd say no, you know, none of that large, heavy, I'll just put large.
Perfect.
Unless
yeah.
it's something
And
decent,
we're all
you know, like
getting
a,
so
yeah,
old, we
yeah,
can't
there you go.
lift that
But I mean, a
stuff.
nice chair or something would be, you know.
Be nice if we had some young volunteers.
Well, that's my mission, to work on that. Mela had a really good idea to make a brochure to go, exactly with this, to go out with the sticker. So that when people get their sticker, they would also get a brochure of what we don't take. Because a lot of times they don't look at the wall and they come with all this particle furniture and exercise stuff. And they said, I've loaded up my truck, here I am. And we're like, it's on the wall. But it'd be nice if they, when they got their sticker, they got a brochure of what
So,
we
you know,
don't
I'm
take.
gonna let you,
good
type. I'm gonna let you type that up and put that brochure
Mela's
together,
doing it.
and then you can bring it to us and show it.
Right,
and then we-
Melly's doing that.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
working on that.
Yeah, that would be
Excellent.
Cool.
Right, so
awesome.
Mela's doing that.
That's what she told me.
Underneath of that,
is, one of the, maybe.
oh, go ahead.
Should we do anything in deference to COVID, or
We had talked
is
about
this
that.
a time
Well-
when, or is that etiquette?
So,
Well, we need to check with the town, who calls on that, but
yeah,
town
I mean, if
nurse?
the town, the Board of Health closed the treasure chest down due to COVID, I would think ultimately the treasure chest would have, or the Board of Health would have to indicate that, you know, the conditions are such that, you know, the treasure chest could be operated with the doors open and all of that.
So
I
could
don't
that-
know, but I'm guessing it's their call.
Right.
Could that be,
Yeah, I think it's always changing too, so I would suggest you just state you'll follow the Board of Health.
Should-
but
Right.
make it number
Guidelines.
18.
COVID guidelines that they give us.
Because it,
Like
How
on a
many
rainy
people-
day, how many people should be allowed in the,
Mask at all times.
you know what I mean? If
all
the
of it.
doors are all closed, I mean, you know.
Yeah,
So I'll say, in regards to COVID, we're gonna follow the selectmen's and the Board of
the
Health.
Board of Health, that's the Board of Health decision.
Okay.
Great.
I just want, somebody mentioned
Leave us
young,
out of that one.
you mentioned young people for volunteers. I wonder if there's some way, there's programs sometimes at the high school I used to work in Connecticut, where kids did community services.
Yeah, they still
for
do have to
certain
do it here.
Graduation requirements.
yeah.
And then some churches have that for
We've have
confirmation.
had that.
Yeah, we have.
I'm thinking that might be nice to see
If we just
could
put the
get-
word out to the schools, I'm sure you'd get the kids
I'm thinking for
volunteering.
kids who are
They
thinking
probably
to
just
let
don't
things-
know
Boy
that
Scouts, you know, they
opportunity
get,
exists.
yes. And we've had different church young men come in.
Yeah.
Yep, we have.
And
They came in
it
in
works
white
I will-
wonderful.
I will
dress
say this.
pants.
Nobody should be putting anything on top of a volunteer should not be putting an item on top of somebody's car or strapping something down or doing any of that. I honestly, personally think it would make that volunteer liable. I mean, if somebody wants to take an item, a customer, they should be putting it in their car or strapping it to their car or
I like that.
otherwise
I do too.
securing it, and that shouldn't be ours. Because I see people wanting to help, and all of a sudden, somebody could say, oh, you just dented my car, you just scratched
Yeah,
this, you
we've
just
seen
did that.
Yeah, gosh.
Got a
And,
scratch
you know,
on my
it's
paint
like no
job.
good deed goes unpunished.
Right.
And I would hate to see a volunteer in that situation help, but, you know, have that happen, you know, and we would hear about it.
But they
So
may,
I would prefer that not to happen.
they also could be useful as gate guards, you know,
Mm-hmm.
as standing at the gate watching this, you know, sticker checker.
Well, we always do that anyway.
Well, we staff it, but if you had a volunteer with you.
Oh, I see, you're saying if we have some young people to help us out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's a great
And this is the
idea.
time of year coming up that the kids are looking for community service because they need to get the hours in before the end of
It's
the
one of
year.
those things, though, you can't, I mean, I think we would welcome the help. It's hard for us to schedule that in and know that, I mean, we're all volunteers, but, you know, pretty much if you're a shift leader, a shift supervisor, or you're on the docket to be at the treasure chest as a volunteer, you know, they pretty much got to show up. You know, that's not the case with some of these folks. So I think, when the opportunity presented itself that they could volunteer, we would welcome that, but it's kind of not something that you can depend upon like we depend on ourselves.
Right.
Oh, no, right.
No, I was
But,
thinking
yeah, I
it would
would
be
welcome
in
the
addition
opportunity.
to-
Oh, absolutely, in
Right.
addition.
In addition.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
And you know what I think was nice, you were mentioning a sheet, I think a sheet first, if someone's I guess any volunteer, but a student volunteer, just some of those rules that we just mentioned. In other words, not to lift something on someone's car, know that you can assist in this way and that way, because they're gonna need a heads up, and if people are busy, I know once it's open, it could be really busy certain times of the day. You might wanna just have a sheet and have someone say, I want you to read that, and then I wanna ask you if you have any questions of me.
Good idea.
Well, we have done that in the past, usually when we get any volunteer, you gotta show them the ropes, and
Yes.
that's the case. And usually, when we have a volunteer from the church or whatever, or another group, they're typically right with us, another volunteer.
So they know.
And they're not out really by themselves,
That's right.
helping somebody. They're really right there just helping take stuff out of the car, running stuff in and out to the cage, that type of effort. I could see them checking stickers,
Yes.
but,
That's what she's, yeah.
Awesome.
exactly. As far as helping, taking things to the car or whatever, yeah, I'd be having them ask a volunteer for assistance. And, and we can, I don't mind putting something in somebody's car or help that way. And even then, you have to be careful about whether or not, you're poking somebody's, upholstery or this or that. But on top of a car,
Will we be expecting people to wear masks?
I
Absolutely.
think that's up to the Board of
Absolutely.
Health and whatever the town's
Right,
mandate
such
is at the
tight
time, or
quarters, and
lack
You're gonna be
thereof.
so close.
That's right.
I know.
Everybody needs a
So
mask.
You're gonna need a
clients
mask in
and
there.
Customers, I mean,
I think you're opening Pandora's box, though, because what do you do as a volunteer if someone, in other words, if it's not the Department, the Board of Health in the town's guideline, and you're saying they have to wear a mask inside, then
Well,
what
it's
happens if
according
they
to the
don't?
conditions.
No,
I mean,
know.
if things go by the wayside, then they're not.
I guess we could ask for this, for the Board of Health's recommendation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think again, health directives.
Yeah,
Yeah,
teeth behind it.
right.
I know I don't want to be people all over near me when I'm taking things out of the truck if they're not protected.
Well, I'd want them to be protected, but I'm just thinking then, if you get somebody who says, no, I'm not
Well,
doing that, and then.
We're going to have that, at some people, I'm sure that.
Yeah, I mean, as far as people dropping off are concerned, I don't think well, again, I'm gonna leave it up to the Board of Health.
Absolutely.
As far as people entering
Not
and
our
volunteers.
decision.
Right.
Yeah, it's not my call.
No.
I think as volunteers, we'll comply with the directive.
That's right.
Great.
Yeah,
That's,
just one other thing.
Mhm.
Link makes really great signs. And I'm violating, Caleb being polite.
You don't have to pound at me, Kayla. My suggestion is you follow the Board of Health directives. That's your statement here. Because those do change as we change in time. In the meantime, Link makes great signs. And so if the Board of Health directive today is to have to wear a mask, you could ask them, or April when you're open, I'm sure you could ask Link to make you a sign that you can post on the entrance coming in. So you can inform the people at the time what the requirements are, because as you know, during the past year, it seems like they've changed. Not every day, certainly they've changed over time. But you can keep these guidelines fairly general and say, we'll follow the Board of Health, and then change the sign as you want.
Okay,
Who wants to follow up with that, with the Board of Health?
I will.
Good. I just wanted to, we've been talking about it, but I just wanted to see where we're going with that. That's why I put it out there.
okay. So we have
Good.
an opening, we have modified guidelines, we have rules of etiquette.
Under the rules of etiquette, and I don't know if this would go under the rules of etiquette, but on the volunteers, I guess in the past, it's people leaving early, the afternoon shift at like 2. They're not, then they don't, you know, somebody.
I don't know, I don't work the afternoon shift.
We do.
I always thought we were
Same.
pretty well cut, you know.
Oh, no, we have people leave all the time
So-
on the shift. So if
Well, are
people
those
sign
people
up.
still gonna be volunteers? If, you know, we'll just have to make sure if they're signed up for their afternoon shift, they stay for
Well, I
their
was
afternoon
wondering
shift.
maybe somewhere on here that you're expected to, because there was a place if you make it, right, to call
Right.
somebody.
But also, the leaving is
But like,
really bad.
you know,
No, and I get that. You know, if it's something,
husband
if it's
ends up
something that
cleaning up.
somebody does, you know, we can bring it up to the committee. I mean, a shift supervisor supervises the volunteers. If the volunteers are doing something that the shift supervisor doesn't like, shift supervisor should be bringing it to the committee, you know? And actually, if it's a volunteer, you know, we're supposed to be working to right the wrong, and it's like, we're supposed to be working with Link when it comes to the volunteers. So I think that mechanism is there. And then if they don't continue to comply the way they should, you know, in the past, you know, we've dismissed people, you know, or they've lost their opportunity to volunteer because they couldn't comply. I see this as being,
One of those things, if they
One of
keep,
those
if they
things.
keep cutting.
and yeah,
Yeah.
and we have a
Okay.
mechanism in place.
Yeah, why can't you add it to number 3? Because
Yeah.
it
Right.
says to show up on time and stay till
and
the
expected
end of your shift.
to do
Yeah.
your
That's it.
shift.
Yeah.
That's all the point I was trying to make.
It's a great place
I
to put
think
it.
that would be, fits in there.
Please honor your.
And Ella, you know, more than most people that she
So at the
ends up
end, what would the
cleaning up
last
everybody.
sentence be?
Well, maybe,
See, I think it goes after the word time. It says, prove your dependability and strong work ethic time, and then I'd add, and staying till the end of your shift.
Thank you, Maureen.
And you could put, if you want,
Okay.
put on in capitals, and you could put end in capital letters too, so they get a good message.
So state it one more time for me.
Well, it's the second sentence
Right.
under number 3, and it says, prove your dependability and strong work ethic by showing up on time and staying until the end of your shift, period.
Good enough.
Oh, yeah.
That works.
Okay.
And frankly, if you're comfortable with it, I would like to capitalize, since it's been a problem in the past, to capitalize on time and capitalize the word end. Because if they say they missed it and just read it quickly, they should really see that.
if this is the place to put it, but I'm not as comfortable having food in the kitchen.
Having food?
Yeah,
People bring their lunch, you mean?
yeah,
And then they
Why
eat
not?
it in there?
or,
I mean, if I'm there and I have
I
to
think we
eat,
still
I'm
have the
there for
fridge in
day,
that, where
I'm
we
gonna
had a
eat.
fridge.
Yeah.
Why is, just, you want to know your reason, honey?
it got messy.
Oh, okay, so maybe people need to clean up if they are gonna do it.
Yeah,
Because a lot of times, like, we've been there for years where someone will make a big pot of hot chili or something in the wintertime, and I'll tell you, it's really good to have when you're cold and freezing, you know?
Yeah.
But maybe, like you said, that they have to be responsible
For
for,
yourself.
yeah,
because that's not on you. I mean, that
Common
should not
sense
be.
that
but
you
it's just, I don't, you know,
Yep, it's,
something to think about.
Would that help? I don't volunteer there, but would it help if, like, the last 15 minutes of a shift, if there's a few people on the shift, that someone goes and does
We
you
do
know,
that.
We all do that.
yeah.
You know,
And
a
the-
sweep
and-
of the kitchen?
Yeah, and
We
it's,
do all that.
and it's sometimes hard, because sometimes that's just when everyone comes, you know, and you need to be out unloading cars and,
So we just need to do a better job at housekeeping at the end.
yeah.
Okay, I get that.
I understand where she's coming from, because a lot of times we're bringing all the stuff in and there's food laying out, so maybe people need to be responsible for what they bring and cover it and all that as they're going, and not like just leave it.
Put it away.
Yeah,
Maybe-
there you go.
And maybe discourage, I mean, you know, the refrigerator's great for beverages, I think. If we could just maybe keep it a beverage refrigerator, or, you know, not, you know, every week empty it, or,
Oh, that, yes, like,
you know, there used to be a lot of leftovers.
I think we can be better about it, and I actually think some of the people, or some of the offenders about leaving things and just leaving them on. Truthfully,
offender.
I honestly do. I'm looking at some of the.
Drop cake on the floor and walk through it.
Yeah, or whatever. But some of those, again, those people aren't with us
They're not.
anymore as volunteers.
They're
So
not.
we're in a better place.
And do we have permission to have a couple cookouts during the year? Remember, we couldn't.
Well, we don't have to have that part of the, yeah, I'm thinking
Or is
we
that a
could do
kitchen
all of
talk?
that. All right, so we have,
So we did,
I'll modify this.
Mhm.
Revisions to the operational plan,
to the etiquette.
add the etiquette.
Yeah.
I bring it back at our next meeting, we go through it.
What-
We do our final amendments, and then we submit it to the selectmen.
And I'll get with the health department
Yeah.
about the COVID before the next meeting. So
Yeah,
can
we'll have to,
move on.
I just want to bring up one thing.
but is that,
Oh,
but the
when you're
COVID thing is, we can write that in our operational guideline, and we'll simply say, when it comes to, that we're gonna follow any directives from the Board
Because
of
it's
Health.
gonna change. The
Right.
COVID the
Yeah,
Board of Health is gonna have to.
so is a blank thing that covers everything.
But I mean, we can just add that here, and again, COVID or mask, that's gonna, be dictated by the Board of Health.
I was wondering, even a piece of glass, consider,
That's what I thought.
yes, in that little area where they would feel
Well,
more
again,
comfortable.
if they
They're in
want
their
us to.
80s, I want to protect them.
Yeah, yep. Rose and all those guys.
The last thing I wanna do is see anybody, get sick.
Yeah.
So.
So we'll
and
go,
then,
she'll find out what we're gonna do. We want to protect ourselves
Yeah,
too.
and we'll do that, but as far as the guidelines, we're simply gonna say we're following the directive of the Board of Health.
Right, right.
Okay.
I have one other question, is, I was just talking to Gina a minute ago, and we were saying that when a shift leader asks someone to please do something, and they're like, absolutely not, are we gonna have any kind of disciplinary if they won't, if everyone signs the paperwork and they said they're gonna do the rules, but we've had that
So,
before.
okay, I've had it, and
Okay.
I've stood up at that podium there and had to speak to the selectmen and say, yeah, I've got volunteers who tell me I can't tell them what to do because they're volunteers. And they're right, I can't do anything about that.
Right,
But our mechanism was, we go back, we told the committee that this was happening. Ultimately, that person was let go. Again, we have a mechanism, we have we have Link, Link oversees the volunteers. If the volunteers aren't complying, we can let them go, or request that Link let them go. And that has happened. So I think we have, a policy and a procedure in place to take care of that. We just, if people aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing and they're not listening to their shift supervisor or the shift leader at the time, then yeah, we can certainly bring that up and hopefully either cure it or that person will
yeah,
lose
yeah.
their
So
opportunity.
hopefully cure it, so we don't have any.
Yeah. But when I'm looking at the folks, the volunteers who want to come back, it's a good list. I'm happy.
We've changed a lot.
Yeah, we have changed a lot, and for the better. So I'm happy to see that. And I'm thinking in the future, the volunteers, will be continue to be of a high caliber, and much to the benefit of the town. With that, anything else I need to add to this, so I can bring this back to you, so we can approve this operational plan, so we can get this to the selectmen?
Are we gonna keep all the recycling page?
I'm only gonna keep these 3 pages.
Oh,
This-
good, okay.
This
Well-
page, the etiquette, and the operational plan and the etiquette.
Etiquette.
I didn't think there was anything else that,
Well, yeah, the other things are good to have, like the donation options
Mhm.
and.
do they need to be part of the plan? Or the guidelines?
What's a donation
No.
option?
Oh, at the end, donation options, if the
people
treasure
come and
chest doesn't
say-
take it.
Like if we don't take something,
We could
Yeah.
bring it. And we could give
We
them
just,
them other
we put that up in the kitchen and let people know. I don't know if we need it in the,
I don't think we need to put it
it
in the
was a
packet
kitchen
now.
thing.
Okay, leave it a kitchen thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
they'll ask. So I have my marching orders on this.
So did we decide
I'll-
that definitely there will be stickers? I mean,
Well, that's another item.
right.
Well, that's another, I mean, the operation, I'm assuming that we're gonna have to do stickers. I mean, we did stickers before
think
to
there's any
prove
way
that you were
around
a
it.
Harwich resident.
Right.
I'm thinking it's the
It
sticker
worked.
program again. It did work.
Yep.
I don't know if that needs to be part of the guidelines, but I think that, yeah, we'll need a sticker program, and at some point, we'll work on that when the selectmen give us the okay that they're good with, you know, the guideline slash plan, and we can move forward. You know, we have Link's blessing, so at that point, if we can get the selectmen's blessing, then we can move forward with stickers and how we want the layout of the treasure chest to be.
Mhm.
One thought I had is, as you walk out of the kitchen, instead of taking that immediate left where that choke point was,
Yes.
maybe we put the cage on the other side and you take a right. Because you could have there, you could have that cage that would be behind the cage, that's
Yeah.
all that storage. The bathroom is there as well. And then we take that over and then there's no choke point.
Yes.
And then put the aisles, so you can look down the aisles instead of having being perpendicular, have them horizontal so you could see them.
The other chokehold was by the garage doors, and when they walked in, they'd get all
'Cause
jammed
that's-
up
it's-
there, and
it's-
they
it's
couldn't
very-
go
it-
either way.
That's
Mhm.
poorly utilized,
You-
that,
yeah.
and if we use that, it would be much better for us, because then we could lock our stuff away.
Yes. I
So,
like that idea.
yeah, and then I can't tell you, I can think of at least 2 times where we had collisions, where people were making that left out of the kitchen, and people were coming out of the cage. Yeah,
That's a really good
you
idea.
know, so, I
And that's
mean,
an empty
that's,
space that's not being used. I've always said, why could we use, that cage?
yeah. I think, just moving that to the opposite side, I think from a slip, trip, and fall, and a health and safety standpoint, would be a
Sounds good.
thumbs up move, but, let's leave that, once we get our authorization to move forward.
You probably could take that cage door off. You don't really need that
So
door.
what should we put
Well, no,
on
you
the
probably
other-
would want that, but when I'm thinking cage,
Turn it the other way?
the people could be behind there working, but there'd be that door that, opens and closes with that lock on it that,
Yeah.
and the light's right there and everything.
Yes.
You guys
We're
can
in
figure it out.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that just makes perfect sense.
that's awesome.
So,
So what
Yeah.
should we put on the next agenda?
Discuss.
so actually, let us cut through the rest of this. So I have my marching orders as far as this. And actually, in new business, we've talked about most of the items that were under new business.
Right, yeah.
So really, all we need to do now is, I know what I need to do. When do you want to meet again?
I'm available whenever.
Me
End of
too.
January?
Yeah, sometime in
Well, I'd
January.
like to, it should be mid-January, because I'd like to get something to the selectmen once we give our thumbs up, so I can, once I bring this to you at our next meeting, revised.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's gonna be a comment or two that I'm gonna have to take care of, so it will be amended. But,
When's the next selectmen's meeting? Just curious.
probably, well, I think I'd like to get the selectmen something at their second meeting of January. I don't know when that is.
I don't know.
When would that be?
Whoever the second Monday is.
Second Monday is the 10th.
The second Monday is the 10th?
Yeah, the first Monday's the 3rd.
Huh?
The second Monday's the 10th.
Okay, so so you meet on the first and the third Monday?
We meet on every Monday.
Oh. So what's the third Monday in
17,
17th? What's the fourth?
24.
So let's try to get them something on the 24th of January, which means I'd like at least a week to,
So what is the
Wait a minute.
Thursday before the
So-
24th? Do we know the date? I don't have my.
well, no,
phone.
the Thursday before the 24th wouldn't give me enough time. Give me, if we meet on a Thursday, I wouldn't want to give them something that following Monday. It would maybe be a little bit more time. I don't know. What do you think? I think we should meet around like,
I think the
Meet around
sooner the better.
14th or
Yeah,
something
we
like
just
that.
want to get,
there's a Thursday?
Just wanna
13th.
get
The
going.
13th?
yeah.
Yep.
13th? Is this,
The 13th of January?
yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
fine.
At 5 here?
Yeah.
You're going to sign us out for the
I am.
13th?
Yep.
Beautiful.
And I just wanted to ask, are we thinking, we were talking about that we probably would have stickers for residents only. I don't know, but I heard it come up about payment for stickers. I mean, I think people would be willing to pay $5 or $10 for a sticker if they want to go to the,
We voted yes on that. We just talked about it, Bim and I, so I don't know where we're gonna go with that, or if we need to or not, but we did, there was a yes vote on that, except for one person. Liz is the only one that said no with that, but if the town's not upset about, I think the reason we did the stickers is so that the heating and everything else, but I think, you know what I mean?
So you want to have that as an agenda item at our next meeting?
Yeah.
And discuss
Yes, we
stickers?
can talk about
Because
that.
we can do this as an old agenda item and finalize this,
Right,
and then we can talk about stickers and,
totally sticker thing, yeah,
yeah, stickers, and those will be the two items.
okay,
Okay.
Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Because if there's any cost to the town, then we wanted to charge. If there isn't, then we weren't going to. That was kind of.
so with that said, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion
Motion
to
to-
So I so moved, and I'm going to take her second, okay? All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.